Okay, hi everyone. So this time we will be discussing LG 3.1, the chemical equilibrium, which is the equilibrium condition. At the end of this LG, everyone is expected to describe the condition of equilibrium in a reversible reaction in terms of macroscopic changes in the system and on the molecular level. Also, to define equilibrium as applied to a chemical system. Okay, so are you kids familiar with this one? Okay, so this is a game called Tug of War. So others refer to it as rope pulling. So technically, this game involves two teams at the end of each rope with the goal of pulling the other team over a specified line. There are times in a tug of war game, we can see that there is no apparent movement in the rope, although there is a great tension on the rope and it is being pulled by the two teams with equal force. Okay? Or we can simply say that the force exerted by the two opposing teams is balance. The word balance is often associated with the term equilibrium. We may find these two words as synonyms in most references. So to be in equilibrium is to be in a state of balance. So in chemistry, we have this chemical equilibrium in which condition in the course of a reversible chemical reaction in which no net change in the amounts of reactants and products occurs. So in this case, the rate at which products in a reversible reactions are formed from the reactant equals the rate at which the reactants are formed from the products. Okay? So simply, uh, it occurs when opposing reactions are proceeding simultaneously at equal rates. So since concentration ceases to change, it may appear that everything has stopped, just like what is being observed during a game of tug of war. Though in reality, both the forward and backward reactions continue to occur indefinitely. So in this case, as a result, the concentrations of all reactants and products remain constant with time. We have here your figure 1. Okay, so this time let us examine the decomposition of a colorless N2O4 gas, that's your dinitrogen tetraoxide, to brown NO2 gas, that's your nitrogen dioxide. And let us see how this reaction illustrates chemical equilibrium. So in this case, we begin with a sample of your colorless N2O4. So this one. So the sample is inside a sealed tube resting in a beaker. So when this particular substance is warmed, it vaporizes and turns pale brown. Okay, as you can see here in this middle image. So the pale brown color slowly darkens, but after a few moments, the color stops changing. Okay, so as you can see, from N2O4, NO2 molecules are produced. Okay, so what is happening here? At the molecular level, N2O4 molecules, okay, they collide and few begin to split into NO2 molecules. As time passes, more N2O4 molecules decompose and the concentration of NO2 increases. So as you can see, from colorless to pale brown. As more NO2 molecules are formed, it can be viewed in the macroscopic level that the tube turns pale brown, okay, and eventually darkens, okay, because NO2 is reddish brown, as you can see here. So as the reaction progresses, the decomposition of N2O4 slows down as the number of the molecules decreases. the reaction continues in both directions at equal rates. Okay, so the concentrations of NO2 and N2O4 and also its color no longer change. Well, eventually N2O4 molecules decompose into NO2 molecules as fast as the NO2 molecules recombine to form N2O4. So at this point, the system has reached equilibrium. So the concentrations of the reactants and products uh, stop changing because the forward and reverse rates have become equal. So take note of this equation. At equilibrium, the rate of the forward reaction is equal to the rate of the reverse reaction. These two half-headed arrows pointing in opposite directions, they indicate that the reaction is reversible. So remember that a reversible reaction occurs in two directions. You have the forward, okay? Forward meaning it goes toward the formation of the products. And you have the reverse or backward, ito naman towards the formation of the reactants. Thus, the composition of N2O4 that we did discuss earlier is better represented by this chemical equation. At a given temperature, when the system reaches equilibrium, take note of this, take note. The concentrations of the products and reactants are constant. Therefore, their ratio must be constant as well. So in this case, we will be using the N2O4 NO2 system to derive this particular constant. Okay, so we know that at equilibrium, the rate, the rate of the forward reaction is equal to the rate of the reverse. Also, we learned in kinetics that both forward and reverse reactions are elementary steps. So we can also write their rate laws directly from the balance equation. So your K here, okay, another one here, okay, corresponds to the rate constants, okay? This is for the forward, this is for the reverse. The subscript EQ, okay, refers to concentrations at equilibrium. Okay, so rearranging, you'll have this. So K for forward over K for reverse is equal to concentration of NO2 raised to 2, okay, at equilibrium over the concentration of N2O4 at equilibrium. Okay, so the ratio of constants gives rise to a new overall constant called the equilibrium constant. Okay, so this is also equal to K, big letter K in this case. This is your equilibrium constant. Okay, so your equilibrium constant, again, that's your big letter K. This is the number equal to the particular ratio of equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium concentrations of products and reactants at a particular temperature. Okay, so if you have questions, you can reach me here. Okay, yeah, contact me right there. And that's it. I think we're done. Thank you, kids.